Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Babylon 5. This is season 4. This is episode number 11. This episode is called Lines of Communication. So last episode, Marcus and Stephen went to Mars to try and find these people in the Resistance and work with them in order to gather information, I guess. And whilst there, we bumped into this guy called Jack. And Jack happened to have one of those things on him, which we've seen on the guy who's looking after Centauri Prime at the moment. I think he was the Prime Minister, but he's now basically just like keeping the Emperor's seat warm, I guess. And it was interesting because like we saw him in hindsight trying to fight and come through and be himself. Like Stephen was saying, he was trying to drop hints, and it was amazing when he was like, you know, you can kill it, but it will always grow back. So he was never going to be free of that. That is a terrifying concept of you're basically a prisoner in your own body, and it's kind of like locked in syndrome a little bit. That's what it reminded me of, and it was actually quite sad to see that. And you know, it kind of makes me think, well, what the hell is going to happen now? Because we know what these things are capable of. How are we going to overcome that? I'm just going to get straight on into this, so let's go.
We're getting a signal from Dr. Franklin on Mars. It's weak.
There's the communication.
Getting past the jammers.
I'll put it through.
Do not respond. I repeat, do not respond. We have arranged a meeting with the board who send its regards. We will check in again at prearranged time on second coded frequency. I repeat, board meeting is on.
Do you know who's responsible for these attacks?
No, so we have sent for more information. Perhaps the situation's not as bad as the reports have indicated.
There have been similar attacks outside Pakmara space. And I guess it was inevitable.
Oh!
Everyone suffered heavy losses during the war. It was only a matter of time before someone tried to take advantage of that by sending out raiding parties.
And the hotel blew up.
An attack without provocation. So, I'm going to take out a flight of white starships to investigate.
On her own?
Since it was the religious caste that promised him protection, I have an obligation.
Can't you send out Lanier? It might be dangerous.
John, it pleases me that you care for what I have become. Never forget who I was, what I am, and what I can do.
Yes?
Susan, it's me.
Open.
I got it. Damn it, Susan, I've got it.
What?
Look, if they want to play games, well, fine. We can play games too, only we can play them better because we've got the truth. Come on, I'll show you. I think we can make this work.
John,
What?
don't you think I better change first?
Oh, yeah, right. Sorry, I hadn't noticed.
Thanks, I'll just... Wait a minute. What do you mean you didn't notice? I mean, what am I, chopped Florence? Anyway, okay. Granted, I don't have any interest in you. You don't have any interest in me. But if you're gonna come barging in here in the middle of the night, the least you could say is, nice outfit, Ivanova. And then go on a tear.
Yeah, nice outfit, Ivana.
You're such a... Man, it's always the same.
Oh.
Yeah, this'll work.
John, I've been here before. For this, you woke me up?
Why not? You gave me the idea.
I'm just gonna sit over here until you tell me what the hell you're talking about.
During the last phase of the war,
Cranky
you
Susan's
were on
my
the
favourite
Batcom
Susan.
updating everyone on evacuations, safe zones, rescues, which planets had fallen.
Oh, she was!
I hated it.
You were great at it.
I hated it.
You have a face people trust.
I'd rather have a face people fear.
Well, that too, but see, it occurred to me that if we could do that here on a small scale, why not on a larger scale? I mean, ever since we broke away from Earth, solid information has been rare as gold. We've had to rely on smuggled data crystals, rumors, stories. All they have to go on back home is what ISN tells them. So, why not solve two problems at the same time?
What are we doing?
Why not come up with a way that we could turn the war room into, I don't know, the voice of the resistance?
I'm picking up a distress signal. Scanners indicate it's a Pakmara military transport.
Oh!
Put us on course. Do we have visual?
Putting it through.
Francis.
Enemy ships are being attacked. Please help.
All ships, attack formation.
Oh my word. This is really the first time we've seen anything in relation to the Pakmara happening. I think we've heard about it before though.
Engines hit. Life support no longer functioning.
Start season 2, I think.
This is the land of the Minbari. We are en route. How many ships are attacking?
Too many. Too many.
Oh! gone.
It's gone.
Are we close enough to pick up the ships that attacked it?
Yes, on screen. Be careful, Delenn.
Who are they?
We don't know the reasons for the attack, and we've never seen any ships like those before.
I was there at the first contact with Ukatlanir. Do not make such mistakes twice. Open a channel. White Star Fleet to attacking ships. Identify yourselves. Can you translate?
No. I'm sending interlac alphabet and language codes on a clear channel. This may take a moment.
Delenn.
In a moment. Yes. Who are you? Drak. Is that your name? Or the name of your species?
Yes to which question?
Delenn, there's a problem. We are not translating that. It's coming through in Minbari.
But you said you sent them our language codes.
No, I sent them interlac. It's easier to translate. They're using our language, but I didn't send it to them.
Oh!
But how can that be? Unless they had some prior contact with our people.
Do not move, Delenn. I brought you another. This one is important. She can be a great help to us. They've offered us protection in exchange for allowing them to move into several deserted worlds along our borders.
What? We do not give shelter to thieves who prey on innocent ships.
We only use force against military vessels who threaten them first. The Drak want peaceful relations.
I doubt that,
They
dude.
want only a place to have for their own because
they have just lost their home.
yes, there was an evacuation. Some kind of natural disaster, they said.
This homeworld of yours, did it have a name?
Yes.
What was it?
I'm sorry if I had to force you to come here, but there was no other way.
Tell the others that we will meet here again in 7 days. I will give you my answer then.
Thank you. You will not regret this, Delenn.
You didn't tell them who you were bringing.
No, there wasn't time.
Tell the other ships to stand by. Let me know as soon as the emissary has left.
Why are you...
Don't you understand? Sheridan and I defeated the Shadows, drove them and their allies from Zakadum, which was then destroyed. They worked for the Shadows for Ella, and now you brought me right into the middle of them.
Shit!
You must have been mistaken.
The Drak mothership is heading for the jump gate.
How fast?
Fast.
Be faster!
Holy shit, I can't. Oh my god, she's crazy, but I love her. I wonder if she tells John about this. Like, oh, by the way, what did you do today? Well.
End this. The caste system is falling apart. If you don't pull it back together again, there will be civil war.
Yeah.
So, I'm going home for a while.
How long's a
It takes some
while?
time. Ever since you came back from Zakadum, I've been trying to act as if nothing had changed. Trying to put it all back the way it was. I've tried to talk to you about what Lorien said, that you have only 20 years left. But you don't want to talk about that.
Oh.
You've turned your attention back toward Earth, distracted yourself with this. That is why you're so angry with Mr. Garibaldi. But as long as he's outside, things can never be the way they were. While you were as a Khadum, you were touched by destiny. You cannot just simply walk away from that.
I know. It's just that I'm tired, Delenn.
You would be.
Sometimes I feel as if I've been carrying this station on my back and crawling through broken glass for 3 years.
We each have our obligations. Mine, for now, is to return home. I must rebuild the Grey Council. And you must finish the work that is ahead of you. Fighting a war is easy. Destroying is easy. Building a new world out of what's left of the old.
That's the difficult bit.
Hard. But that is your strength. So much has fallen apart out there. You must help to put it back together.
And how will your leaving make this any easier for me?
You've been holding back. Trying to protect all of us from the parts of you that changed at Zachadum. You've tried to act as if nothing had changed. But I know your heart, John. You can fool the others, but you cannot fool me. What is left requires that you be dangerous. And I think you would be more comfortable doing that if I were not here.
She's got a point there.
Would it make a difference if I asked you not to go?
Would you want it to make a difference?
No. I suppose not. Well, how long before you have to leave?
Tomorrow morning.
That's quite soon.
Dinner?
Love to.
Knowing that not only are these things that have gone to Centauri Prime and Mars kind of in existence, and we saw everyone kind of leaving Zahadum, but then to see this race called the Drak, they were like creepy. They reminded me a little bit of a Dementor, actually, with the way they shimmered and shifted around. And knowing that, you know, all of these races that were in allegiance with the Shadows have kind of gone out and then started seeking their own infiltration into these worlds that helped destroy them to probably get their revenge on them for doing so. But then it makes you wonder, like, they've gone to Centauri Prime as well. Maybe those guys are more of like keeping control of what the Shadows' mission was, and they're kind of sticking to a plan maybe. Whereas we've got the Drak, who seem to be wanting to infiltrate Minbar, is like a revenge tactic. So I'm trying to work my head around, like, are they trying to continue the Shadows' work? Are they trying to just get revenge? They all seem to have splintered off from Zahadum to do different things. That's kind of how I've perceived it. Those guys, like, were really creepy, and then knowing that, you know, what's happening back on Minbar meant that this guy had sought out help from outside, which seems to have been a taboo to begin with. It's interesting because, like, he's found these people, or these Drak have found him, fed him this misinformation to get him to kind of work alongside them, when all along they're clearly just trying to take control of Minbar and stamp their authority on Minbar and kill as many Minbar as possible, really. Because, like, it was kind of like when on Centauri Prime the Shadows were given the island, they wanted kind of land on surrounding worlds on the perimeter of Minbari space. So they needed a new home, because obviously Zahadum had, like, boom. Knowing and seeing that guy pause when he heard Delen's name and then leave, and Delen was like, oh. But seeing her and Linnea, like, putting two and two together, I didn't at first, and it wasn't until Delen mentioned them needing a new home, and I was kind of like, oh, it clicked in my head. So seeing those guys was interesting, and knowing that there's all of these races out there, there could be more out there that we're yet to encounter that were allies of the Shadows. And while all that's going on, we've then got Stephen and Marcus trying to get Mars on side with the lady who's in charge of the Resistance, kind of giving this speech to say, look, you need to help us. This is what John will do in return. And, you know, you'll be free as a result of that, and you'll be an independent state. It was interesting. But knowing Delen is, like, deciding to go back to Minbar to try and stop this outbreak of civil war that seems to be festering, it's kind of like, how long is she going to be gone? Because I worry about John when Delen is not here, because I feel like sometimes John can kind of go off the deep end a little bit without her there to kind of anchor him, really. But then at the same time, it's weird because when we see Delen in these situations, like when she was trying and engaging in, you know, fighting these ships, these Drak ships, and that side of her came out that we saw in the Dreaming, and we saw previously, I think it was in Seven Dreams, where she threatened the Earth ships. I was like, this woman is just, like, for someone who's, like, part of the religious caste, for her to, like, involve herself and engage in battle like this is such an interesting thing to witness. Like, the juxtaposition of that is just mad. But then a part of me is like, well, is that just because of, like, her training on Minbar, or is that like something that's brought out because of her DNA as well? Because Jeff would not back down in a situation like that, and we know that he wouldn't. But then I also think part of it is probably like John's influence as well, that's kind of, you know, rubbed off on her a little bit. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen next, and I will see you guys later, so thank you.